Hey everyone, welcome to a new OpenRC2 scenario challenge. Now, to reflect current events in the Suez Canal, I made a new version of Evergreen Gardens. So, convert the beautiful Evergreen Gardens into a thriving theme park, except there's a huge container ship in the way. So yeah, as you can see, there's a huge container ship here blocking the way to the rest of the park. Now, the container ship is so high that we cannot build over it. We would have to build into space. That's how high it is. We can't build around it. It's wedged in such a way that that's impossible. And we also cannot build through it because we don't own the land. So yeah, that's quite a pickle we're in here. But yeah, we still have to finish the scenario. So it looks like we only have this piece of land here to work with. Now, to get a thousand guests, that's gonna be quite crowded. Now, first off, I have a plugin that always sets the disable weather changes cheat. I will turn it off for this scenario. I typically use that when I'm reviewing parks and I don't want it to rain all the time. But yeah, this scenario, so I'll disable this. We don't want to play with cheats. And let's quickly check. We also don't want to have early scenario completion. Where can we find that? Alright, that one's also off. So now it's time for us to start working on this scenario. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is open up the park. And yeah, the guests in this scenario have a ridiculous amount of money. Most of them have around 60, 70 or 80 euros. So I'll just set the admission price to 50. That should be a nice price for these guests. Now I'm just gonna remove some of these trees here because they'll just be in the way. Alright, and I think I would also like to have some flat land here to work with. Now we can have a ridiculous loan in this scenario, so I'll just crank it to the max. And let's flatten the land in this little part here. Now, as you might be able to see, the owners of the ship, they decided to save on painting costs. So they only painted the part of the ship that was visible in the beginning of the scenario. But we caught them in the act. Looks like they were quite lazy here. Okay, well, to start off, in this scenario, we already have the corkscrew coaster and the looping coaster enabled. Normally I would just spam these tiny coasters and be done with it, but we need 1,000 guests in this park. So it will probably be better if we have, if these coasters actually have a queue, so we can absorb all these guests. Because if you leave them wandering on your paths and there's only such a tiny area available, they will all start complaining about overcrowding, and then soon enough they will leave the park. So that's not something that we want. Okay, when you build your shops and stalls, always remember to crank up the price a little bit. I made a spreadsheet once which shows all the price you can charge for your shops and stalls without guests complaining. I don't really remember where I left it. I believe I left it on the OpenRC2 forum somewhere. But yeah, there you can see how much you're able to charge for your shops and stalls in certain kinds of weather. But I'll just raise them now by 30 cents or something, and just make sure the same price is throughout the park. And yeah, that will usually be enough for a scenario. Okay, here we have the coaster. Now we cranked up the entrance price of the park to a lot. So for the coaster I'll charge a very low amount, and guests are now willing to ride it. Now, not many guests are entering, so what we're going to do now is start some advertisement campaigns. Advertisement campaigns will always generate guests regardless of your park rating, etc. So it will be a great way to raise some money. Now, we already have a ridiculous amount of money, but I really like money, so we can always use some more. No, I will not start an advertisement campaign for free entry to the park, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of such a high entrance price. So I'll just start the other ones. Okay, I will just build a few more of these coasters with long queues just to soak up all these guests. Let's have some staff members as well. And we'll also have lots of entertainers. They're really useful in case guests think they have been in a queue for too long. Because when there's an entertainer nearby, they tend to make the guests forget that they've been queuing for a long time. Now, we're already making ridiculous amounts of money on these guests that are entering because of the advertisement campaigns. So I'll just add a few more coasters so more guests will start generating naturally. Now, one thing that's really annoying in this park is that this container ship is so tall that it also blocks me from seeing whatever I'm building here. Thankfully, OpenRCT2 has a tool here that we can use. So this is the cutaway view. I'll just select the area where I want to be able to see. And if we're lucky, I haven't selected part of the container ship. There we go. So now I can finish this path that we made here. Now, I want this park to be for everyone, not just for the coaster enthusiasts. So I'll also add some attractions for guests who prefer rides with a lower intensity. Okay, and with that, this is now a park for everyone. So it's full of really thrilling rides like these coasters. It'll be great for those coaster fanatics who want to ride all the coasters in the country, and of course for the guests who are less brave. There's this really exciting merry-go-round here. Look at all these little horses. And immediately a lot of guests are queuing for it, so that's great. I think I'll crank up the intensity a bit. Let's give it 11 rotations. That'll make it a whole lot more exciting. Okay, I'll just fast forward a bit and then we'll see what that does to the amount of guests in the park. Okay, the queues are completely full of people. They have soaked up a lot of guests, but there's still a lot of guests walking around here. I think right over here would be a great place to add another ridiculously long queue, just to take a lot of these guests away from these paths. Now, when a guest is at a junction, it always prefers to head straight if possible. So, for example, right over here there's a junction where guests are walking. So guests would be walking here, and here they can either choose to go left or right, or they could go straight if there was a path heading up here. So over here I'm going to make a queue, and a lot of guests would walk into it here if we do it correctly. Okay, this is actually more challenging than I thought because I cannot find a good spot to connect the exit path. What I think I will do is just make a ramp here and connect it to there. Perfect. This looks like a beautiful park. I would love to go here. Okay, let's open our coaster. Now here's an important milestone. It looks like we've already reached enough guests in the park to fulfill the amount of guests that we need. So this would probably be a good time to stop advertising and just do something ridiculous with our money. Now, it looks like this ship is stuck on land here pretty firmly. So it would probably be a good idea to give it access to sea again. So that will be my mission for the rest of this map. Just turn the beautiful Evergreen Gardens into a beautiful Evergreen Ocean. Okay, I will start by removing all the trees here, because trees don't grow in an ocean, and all the plants as well, and the paths, and then we'll start lowering the ground. Looks like a handyman has escaped and is taking a nice stroll through this part of the Evergreen Gardens. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. I'm sorry, my man. There you go. This is your area of the park. Okay, the Evergreen Gardens are now nice and empty, just the way I like it. And oh, looks like I forgot a little spot here. And now we can start working on doing some elevation changes and turn it into a nice and beautiful ocean. I really wonder how this guy got over here. Okay, it looks like this is a super effective way of draining our money reserves. I will just fast forward a bit and try to make some more money, and then we'll continue creating this beautiful evergreen ocean here. So maybe we can free up the ship from this situation. Now it seems quite a few guests are complaining about the litter in the park. Litter is quite effective at reducing the park rating, so we'll want to prevent that. I'm not adding litter bins because they can just be vandalized by the guests, so we'll just stick with some extra handymen. Now it is getting really crowded here in this area. The queues are already full to max capacity. I could add more rides, but I think I'll just add one here, which has an extra long queue again. That should be able to alleviate some of the overcrowding issues we have here. Alright, as you can see, this ride is quite effective at soaking up all these guests from the park. Yeah, I'm really happy with the way this park is starting to look. It's just beautiful, it's amazing. Maybe I'll place down some decorations just to make it look a little bit, just to make it look even nicer. Now, since we're going to turn the map into an ocean, I think it would be a good idea to add some sea creatures here. So I just added some dolphins, and elephants are definitely also sea creatures, so they would also be really fitting for the park. Now here's a fun award that a lot of people don't know about, the Most Dazzling Ride Color Schemes award. So the way you win it is by having a lot of tracked rides, and they should all use either the color green, so bright green, light orange, bright purple or bright pink as the main color, so as the first ride color. And when you have that, there's a chance you win the Most Dazzling Ride Color Schemes award. Now awards are always good to get because they raise the number of guests that are generated to enter your park. So that's why I always like to go for one of these color schemes in my park. I just noticed that the guests actually have a lot more money when they enter the park than I thought. The highest I've seen was 100, and the lowest I've seen so far was 70. So I think 70 will be a good amount of money to raise the park entrance fee to. And that will help me turn this park into an ocean. Okay, we're now at the end of year 3. Now, I'm not really sure if we can make this entire place an ocean. This ocean business is turning out to be quite expensive, but at least I do feel like I'm contributing to making this world a better place. Maybe we should also have some sea creatures in here. Look how happy they are. Okay, I will just keep going like this, see how far we can get before the end of year 4. Okay, it's now almost the end of year 4. Now, I wasn't able to make the entire park an ocean, but this should be enough space for the ship to get free from the land. Not really sure how they're gonna lift it from the land here. I mean, I don't own this land, so I can't turn this into an ocean. I wish I had this power, but I don't. So it's almost the end of the month now. We have way more than 1,000 guests. Our park rating is pretty high. All the guests here are really happy, and why wouldn't they be? This park is beautiful. It's just a great atmosphere. I see I left some space there. And we did it. We have beaten Evergreen Gardens with a huge container ship blocking our way. And we've made the world a better place in the process. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see if I can do another one of these challenges soon. They're quite fun to do. And yeah, I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.